Tonight, we look at the hopes and fears of some young people studying along the U.S.-Mexico border affected by the narco war.
Channel 5's Stephanie Bertini and photojournalist Arturo Vargas traveled to a place where two countries cross in South Texas. They bring a Channel 5 News special report, Crossing the Border, Escaping the War.
Our Stephanie Bertini joins us from the river's edge in Laredo tonight.
Long referred to as the Two Laredos or Los Dos Laredos, this is an area hit hard by Mexico's drug war. Just across the river, people are living in fear. Nuevo Laredo is one of the most dangerous cities in Mexico. It has been since the drug war started in 2006. On the American side in Laredo tonight, we take a look at a specific group of students. They are crossing the border, escaping the war. It's a place where two countries intersect, where international lines, security efforts, and other divisions don't slow the flow of people moving back and forth. On any given day, in Laredo, Texas, you'll find people crossing from Mexico. They come to shop, visit friends and relatives, or take care of other personal business. In the mix, there's a group of youngsters. You can spot them in the early hours of the morning as they step onto U.S. soil. You'll see them peppered in the crowd, making their way home in the afternoons. They're on a mission to escape the drug-torn city of Nuevo Laredo. The narco war is pushing them to search for something better. Their realities make it necessary for us to conceal their identities. This teenager grew up on the other side of Laredo's International Bridge. As a child, he watched the Mexican drug war unfold before his eyes. Today, almost a decade later, the danger along Mexico's northern border is part of daily life. He says he's watched his friends get recruited by the cartels, the criminals tearing Mexico apart. This teenager is desperate for something different. He's using an American tie to move in that direction. His uncle's U.S. address helps him get around the system. That's how he's enrolled in a Laredo public school. Here, Mexican children find peace in learning. That contrasts what they left behind.
There was this guy that was shooting in the school.
This young lady is still haunted by the danger she faced as a student on the other side of the border.
Because you didn't know what was going to happen, or when, or where, or how.
Turf battles and clashes between the Mexican military and drug cartels were part of everyday life. She says the violence made her mother send her away. Now she lives in Laredo with her American father.
What is it like for a young lady to grow up without her mom?
Oh my God, it's super hard. Like, you miss everything.
She considers herself lucky, though. She says going to school in the U.S. is a privilege. For the first time in her young life, her future looks bright.
We live in fear.
Feeling safe is something foreign to Mexican nationals. This teenager says it wasn't always that way.
We got to go to the park and stuff, have fun, but later we couldn't do those things because of the violence.
The drug war ripped his childhood apart.
We can't even go to the store to get something because we're afraid that we're gonna get assaulted.
Danger, killings, and kidnappings are constant threats for Mexican children. It's all a product of the narco war.
My dad would tell us not to go outside when he was working because something could happen.
A few years back, a trip to the United States became a new start for this young man.
We decided to stay here.
He lives in Laredo now with his father and brother. Not even his mother, whom they left behind in Mexico, knows where they are.
I miss her.
He says living in silence is a necessity for kids in his situation. He's old enough to understand the threat of deportation.
I'm afraid that can happen, or to my dad even.
He sometimes opens up to others like him.
There's a good amount of people in that situation, and well, not many people like to say it, but some of my friends, we talk about it and we're a few.
Do your teachers know?
No, they don't know.
So it's kind of like a little secret.
It's kind of a secret.
Keeping his immigration status quiet isn't his main concern. This teenager worries about college. He wants to be an accountant. He knows he needs paperwork and money to do that. Still, he has hope.
For most high school students, the future seems so far away. The here and now is what matters. For teens who call Mexico home but find themselves in the United States for their education, the future is all they can think of. That's what pushes them. That's what gives them hope.
People just across the river see Laredo as the promised land. And they're doing whatever they can do to get their kids to have a better life, just like any parent would want.
Dr. Marcus Nelson is the superintendent of the Laredo Independent School District. We asked him about his Mexican student population.
The truth of the matter is it's difficult for me to publicly confirm that we just blatantly have Mexican nationals in our schools, but anyone that lives in this area can tell you that immigration is a challenge.
Dr. Nelson says life on the border is different. That's the approach he takes as the head of the public school system.
We could spend all day trying to turn back those who are here illegally. It's inconsistent with our agenda to help those who need help.
The dangerous circumstances of a drug-torn country are so close to Laredo, the effects are impossible to ignore.
Bueno, un poco, o sea, nomás estoy como checando, ¿verdad? Como con los ojos abiertos.
Here, young people on the border of adulthood are fighting for something safer, something better, something American.
One day we'll be worth for it. I'm gonna legalize my mom. She's gonna be with here, my baby brothers, my baby sisters.
Undocumented students carry burdens greater than the pressures of good grades and popularity.
What is your worst fear about your mom and your family in Mexico?
I won't see them again. And I'm here and I'm not with them. That's my worst fear.
They live in two worlds. They know they are lucky to be escaping the war, even if just for a school day. They also know in so many ways they will never be able to leave it behind.
Public schools require an address for registration. Well, we found out that's no obstacle for parents desperate for their kids to have a shot at something better. We also found out this situation isn't specific to the Laredo Independent School District. Through our research and interviews, we learned Mexican children are enrolled in schools all along the South Texas border. Reporting in Laredo tonight, Stephanie Bertini, Channel 5 News at 10.